It's Thursday, May 6, 2021, and the morning edition is live. On today's show, an agreement signed to provide government with revenue for the use of the country's airspace, the remarkable story of a brain tumor survivor, and we feature another small business birthed out of the COVID-19 pandemic. So let's start the morning off right.
Started is to quit talking and begin doing. Good morning, everyone. I'm LaDawn Davis.
Good morning, everybody out there. I'm Charles Fisher.
So you're ready for Mother's Day?
We're getting ready for the weekend, but we have an exciting show today. You're trying to get me in trouble again. I got the riot act when I went home the other day about talking about Mother's Day and Wives' Day. Sunday is Mother's Day.
Okay, so did you get your mother anything?
Still didn't get no gift.
You didn't get anything?
No, I'll probably go shopping. You know, I like the last minute shopping. Probably go do that on Saturday or maybe tomorrow.
You mean to tell me you didn't get Mrs. Fisher and Mother?
We're back on this again.
No gift? I'm trying to make sure that they get their good gift for Mother's Day.
If I tell you what I got for them,
trying to make sure they're straight for Mother's Day.
They're watching. If I told you what I got for them, then it won't be a surprise.
But you have to make sure I boost it up to say it's something, you know, nice and...
So, don't you see the gift underneath the table?
It's invisible. Nothing's there.
Okay, well, it'll be invisible again.
Oh, gosh. And we also have a vegetable stall.
Yeah,
a 22-year-old.
I'm waiting to watch that story you did yesterday.
Yeah.
You were roaming the streets yesterday and came across this remarkable young man. Also, fire concerns have been a lot in the news recently.
We have a fire chief.
We have a fire
he's
chief
in the house.
in studio this morning. He's all pep and ready to give us. And then we also have a story on a brain tumor survivor. That's all coming up in the show. But before we get to all of that, we now turn it over to the streets where we find our Desmond Sanders. Good morning, Desmond.
Good morning, Charles, and good morning, LaDawn. Things are picking up out here. I'm actually at the intersection East Street and Robinson Road near Portion, Super Value, Portion, the grocery facility. And it's a great morning, great Thursday morning. Things are picking up. Motorists are on their way to work in their various destinations, joined this morning by Corporal Christopher Wims. And before we came on air, Corporal, we had an incident involving a young motorist relating to speed.
Yes, good morning, Desmond. Good morning, Bahamas. Well, I saw you guys approaching as I was sitting on the light. However, I saw a silver Mustang tearing up Robinson Road. I could hear it before I actually seen it. And as I saw you guys started to come out 8th Street, he locked up. I couldn't let him go. I had to go after him, and he was issued a few citations. Also, he didn't have no insurance. He was told, Bahamas, he was told, if you intend to come on these streets in Nassau with no insurance, think again. Wherever you is, you will be towed. Y'all get that?
That's right. Let's talk about how to use this intersection. There are a number of infractions already, and you spoke about them earlier today. Let's give our motorists some tips on how to properly utilize this intersection where we're at right now.
Yes, at this particular intersection, as you can see, we have a junction box. That was to alleviate where persons used to be congesting and hindering the flow of traffic. Since they have implemented this junction box, it has decreased a whole lot. Before time, you used to have traffic block right at almost to a gridlock, but now we're having smooth sailing. Everybody's like, hey, I ain't gonna get catch in there. So people are being cautious. Those persons who traverse in this particular area, I can say they're well knowledge of the junction box, and they're showing respect to each other drivers as they traverse through the city.
All right. And before we wrap up, the weekend is almost here. Last week, there were a number of infractions, and a number of motorists were issued citations for a number of traffic and COVID-related offenses. Give our viewing audience some tips.
Well, yesterday they celebrated Cinco de Mayo. Today is the 6th of May. You think you're going to break the law yesterday and break it today? Guess again, we will be out here again today, and more than likely tomorrow and the day after and every other day. So we're asking you to please reduce your speed. Drive safe and cautiously and be courteous to other road users.
That's right, and traffic police are going to be out in full force beginning this weekend. As a matter of fact, they were out on the streets for the last 5 weeks, and there's been a number of citations and tickets issued to bad motorists. So be careful, drive to arrive alive. And as I said to you before, the life you save may be your very own. So that's what's happening. Charles and LaDon, back to you in the studio.
Let's stay on the outside. We are waking up to 73 degrees, partly sunny. Wind south-southeast at 4 miles per hour, humidity 83%. A general situation ridge across the northwest Bahamas will continue to persist before shifting eastward ahead of an approaching cold front that is expected to reach the northwest Bahamas on Friday. Weather mostly sunny, hot, and a bit breezy, with a slight chance of a stray shower today, mostly fair and warm tonight. Daytime high temperature 91 degrees Fahrenheit, overnight low 74. As we look ahead to Friday, a thunderstorm is expected in the afternoon, 85 in the day, 74 at night. Saturday morning, we expect some showers, couple of showers here and then Mother's Day, not looking good at all. A strong morning thunderstorm, 86 in the day, 76 at night, but still go out there and celebrate the love of our life.
An air navigation services agreement signed between the newly created Bahamas Air Navigation Services Authority and the U.S. Federal Aviation Administration at the Cabinet Office on Wednesday. Never before in the country's history has anyone paid government for use of its airspace. Instead, that money was split at a ratio of 75 to 25, with the United States taking the lion's share and Cuba the remaining. Tourism and Aviation Minister, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar, confirmed that starting May 1st, all airspace users that land and take off from local airports and fly within Bahamian airspace will pay a fee of $1 per arriving and departing passengers. Add to this a flat fee of $10 up to $61 for each flight.
We do not have the infrastructure nor the capacity today to provide air traffic control services above 6,000 feet in our sovereign airspace. So the agreement that we are signing today is for the FAA to provide that service on our behalf for the next 10 years, allowing us sufficient time to prepare ourselves to achieve our national aspiration of managing our own FIR. Funds collected from the users of our sovereign airspace will be used to cover the current operating costs of civil aviation in the Bahamas, but must also be used to build capacity.
The FAA's lead negotiator, David Burkholder, said Wednesday's signing marks a great sense of accomplishment.
I think it's been a long road over the many years that I referenced. We've had several stops and then restarts again. But really in 2017, we had a declaration of intent where we got together and really decided that we're going to, do a strong push to get. That's where the entire Bahamas team and the entire FAA teams have worked very diligently with the common goal of getting this air navigation services agreement in place.
The Tourism and Aviation Minister toured Sandals Royal Bahamian Resort in Cable Beach on Wednesday to learn more about the multi-million-dollar upgrades underway as officials plan a November post-COVID-19 opening.
They understand the Caribbean better than anybody else. And they always run incredibly high occupancies. They always deliver a highly rated product. And so they are a good fit with the Bahamas. And we are delighted of their continued investment here, their growth. I think they're creating a wonderful product that will keep foreign visitors coming to our country and get us back to our 2019 numbers, which, of course, as you all know, was a record year for the Bahamas.
Sandals Resorts International CEO Adam Stewart flew from his home base in Jamaica to lead the minister's tour and details some impressive numbers for its reopening.
Sandals does a tremendous amount of our bookings many months out, so we have a very good pulse of the trend and pace of what's coming. And in our own company, I'm on record, so I'm happy to say it here, that we're seeing in excess of 25 to 30% ahead of booking pace of 2019. And as the minister said, it was the best year for the Bahamas in tourism, and it was the best year for Sandals Resorts as a group. So when you see that kind of booking pace, it says to you that, we're putting the wheels back on the bus.
Now to news from Parliament. The Securities Industries Amendment Bill 2021 passed in the House of Assembly last evening and is now on its way to the Senate. Minister of Finance, Prime Minister the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis began debate on the amendment bill Wednesday morning, noting that apart from improving the ease of doing business in the security sector, the legislation will also help to bring the sector on par with international standards.
Objectives of the Securities Industry Amendment Bill 2021 are twofold and addresses deficiencies in the protection of minority investors regime identified in the World Bank's Doing Business report and to address technical gaps in the current Securities Industry Act.
And still talking about the economy, the Ministry of Finance's 9-month fiscal snapshot and budget performance report for the current fiscal year released on Wednesday. Third quarter fiscal results show the Bahamas is steadily progressing along the path of recovery. That report also cites that the gradual relaxation of health and safety restrictions on domestic businesses led to improved revenue receipts and revenue collection. Officials see the third quarter results as optimism for the future, but at the same time stress that it is important for Bahamians to stay disciplined and vigilant. From the latest COVID-19 dashboard, another 57 COVID cases on record, 51 of them on New Providence, 2 new cases each on the Berry Islands and Long Island, and 1 new case reported on Exuma and Grand Bahama, pushing the total number of cases nationwide to 10,659. And after years of planning and a growing tourism industry, the countdown is on for a new and much-needed state-of-the-art international airport for the island of Exuma. Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Minnis, provided this update in Parliament yesterday.
Friday, the Speaker will be traveling to Exuma, at which time we would be undergoing the groundbreaking for the new airport to commence in Exuma. And while in Exuma, I intend to tour various facilities and look at the ground sites where we plan to build a new township moving forward.
And when we come back, a young man resorting to selling fresh produce for his survival in a pandemic environment. So keep it locked.
Andros is the #1 bone fishing destination on our planet. Sports fishermen visit our flats every year to participate in one of the most fulfilling outdoor activities known to man, fly fishing. And guess what? It's 100% sustainable. Without areas like the west side of Andros, sustaining this industry would be absolutely impossible. So let's take care of nature, and nature will take care of us.
Hey y'all, what's up?
Hey, what's that?
What y'all getting?
Listen, I've been waiting to march down some lobster, yeah?
Hi, I'm Matthew. I will be you guys' waiter today. Can I take your order?
Oh, I've been queuing for some grouper dread.
Y'all see this?
See, this ain't gonna work. Where the fish gone though?
But how though?
Don't leave our children with no fish in their future. Protect our sea. Protect our way of life. Protect the Bahamas. To learn how you can help, find us on Facebook at Bahamas Protected. See the future.
ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Watch our live channel to keep up with what's going on in the nation. News updates, we've got you covered. Tune into our radio stations with just a swipe. On the road, on the go, we're here with you. Available for download on the App Store and the Google Play Store.
Porters Key, Jenny Street, and Fritz Lane are all areas where mass fires occurred recently with structural destruction, damages, and even loss of life. Well, joining us live here on the Morning Edition is Superintendent of Police Kenrick Morris, Director of Fire Services. Mr. Morris, welcome to the Morning Edition.
Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here this morning.
So I imagine these spate of fires are still under investigation. Are you able to give us an update on them?
Yes, ma'am. These matters are still under active investigation, so I am unable to comment on them at this time. However, I want to assure the public that the fire department is working endlessly to resolve these matters.
And are there any concerns regarding these fires?
There are no major concerns regarding those fires.
Now, many Bahamians are concerned about the water challenges the fire department has faced, particularly in the Jenny Street fire. Are you able to address that?
Yes. At no time during that fire was there no water. We always had water. Our major problem was just the flow.
And what can residents, I guess, say, or I guess you can say to them, or tips you can give them to prevent fires in the future?
Number one, stop lighting fires in the yard. As a matter of fact, it's an offense to light fires in your yard without consent from the fire authority, who is the Commissioner of Police. Yes?
And speaking of fires in the yard and garbages, I guess persons creating fires to their garbage disposal, what is the actual fine to that, and what precautions should they take?
The fine is $150, and this can be, you can look it up in the Penal Code, Chapter 84, subsection 12, section 212, subsection 5. It speaks to that.
Superintendent Morris, thank you so much for joining us here on the Morning Edition, and all the best to you and your team. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mama. It was a pleasure.
Residents from the country's southern gateway applauding the government on the recent launch of the passport office there. Over the past week, the government has made essential services accessible to residents on the Family Islands through the launch of satellite passport offices. Inagua's Island Administrator Marlon Leary says since the launch, some 43 passport applications have already been approved.
No longer do persons have to travel into Nassau to get passports. The opening of the passport office, if you know, for somebody to travel into Nassau, just say a family of 4, that would be in excess of $1,000, maybe even $2,000 just to go to Nassau to have those passports processed. So now they don't have to do that to travel into Nassau. It can be done right there.
Administrator Leary says the rollout process on the island is successful and residents are continuing to take the COVID-19 protocols seriously.
We've been COVID-free since September of last year, and emergency orders are still in place, so we still have our measures in place. We're not letting our guard down as yet. And during the first rollout of the vaccine, we had about 129 persons came out for the vaccine, so we're taking all the necessary precautions because we want this COVID to just go away so we can get back to some sense of normalcy here in Inagua. But for the most part, the residents, they have done what they was supposed to do and what was required of them by the Ministry of Health and the health officials.
When COVID-19 hit the Bahamas a year ago, thousands of Bahamians joined the unemployment line and were left wondering how they will survive. Well, Fox Hill native Devontae Thurston was one of them. He began selling fresh produce from a makeshift stall in front of his yard that he says has been rewarding since he started.
We're facing a pandemic right now, and how they talk about food shortage and things like that. And they really encourage me much to just start small.
And that's exactly what budding farmer and entrepreneur 22-year-old Devontae Thurston did. 3 weeks ago, he started his Nature fruits and vegetable business in the heart of Fox Hill and Johnson Terrace. Onions, cucumbers, plantains, and impatient flowers are all on display for passers-by and motorists to get a good glance before making their final purchase. Devontae says while the business is small, it's a positive way to make a buck or two, especially after losing his job to COVID-19. Additionally, with the overwhelming support from residents in just a few weeks, Devontae says he is hoping to one day expand his business not only on his family property on Gladstone Road, but to tourists in the downtown area.
Business going good so far. I really love it. I hope in the near future that I can have my own farm, that I don't have to go to anybody, and I'll be able to produce to many other people. So I'm looking forward to have a little farm going.
And as the community of Fox Hill continues to be the ideal spot for all the local produce, the big question is, what are the hot sellers?
Papaya, onions, pumpkin, and bananas.
And as we head to the break, we take a look back at the day in Bahamian history on May 5th, 1943. At the request of the United States government, the Bahamas agreed to help increase the supply of fish in Florida, permitting vessels registered and operated from the United States to take tuna and similar fish in certain territorial waters and to buy scale fish at a collecting station established over in Bimini. And in 1768, on the same day, one of the oldest churches in the Bahamas, that's right, the St. John's Anglican Church over there in picturesque Harbor Island, was founded.
Hi, this is the Bishop of Motivation, Spence Finlayson, host of Immediate Response. Join me every weekday from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for an exciting show. I dare you not to miss it.
Hey, I'm Megan Shepard, a reporter here at the ZNS Northern Service. Did you know that ZNS is right at your fingertips when you download the new ZNS app? Missed something in our newscast? That's okay. Simply pull up the app, swipe, and you'll find all of our news headlines and highlights. So what are you waiting for? Download the new ZNS app today.
We've heard your concerns about the COVID-19 vaccine, and we're here to give you some of the facts. The COVID-19 vaccine is absolutely safe and effective. We've seen that it definitely helps prevent people from getting severe illness and from death due to COVID-19. So people should take this vaccine, firstly to protect themselves from severe illness and death. But they should also be taking this vaccine to try and help the country get herd immunity. So while you may be sitting on the fence wondering what the vaccine might or might not do, right now, you can be sure that the virus itself can certainly make you ill at any age, in whatever physical condition you may be in. If you have comorbidities, diabetes, hypertension, and even obesity, do make sure that you get your COVID-19 vaccine as soon as it becomes available to you.
An eye examination for Yvonne Ingram, the first thing that signals something was wrong, leading to a brain tumor diagnosis. He shares that experience with our Cleopatra Murphy.
9 years after undergoing brain surgery for a brain tumor, 69-year-old Yvonne Ingram proudly shows off his battle scar. It's a reminder of the battle for his life the retiree was not too sure he would come out of. Ingram says he first lost his sight in his left eye, prompting him to go to a doctor. Unable to find the problem, an array of tests including a CAT scan and an MRI then turned up a tumor. Ingram says he insisted it be removed.
The doctor warned me that it would probably be some complications and I may not come out the way I went in, and to be mindful that I may not even come out. Well, none of those things frightened me because I was sure that I was in safe hands. I believe in God. I don't recite memory verses out of the Bible. I truly believe in God.
Next was a 12.5-hour surgery. Ingram left the hospital 3 days later with his vision returned.
They forced me to stay inside, but I felt good enough to come outside. I didn't have any downtime. I was just following instructions. God is really good, you know.
It is not the only trial the 69-year-old has faced. Ingram admits he had a stint at the Sandlands Rehabilitation Center in 1985, prompted by drug abuse. His drug of choice, cocaine. Ingram says if he had to live his life again, he would do things the same way because it taught him vital lessons.
In the beginning part of the time that I spent in maximum security, from the condition I was in, they hid me away from myself, and that was I think it was June '85. That was the end of that, and I haven't had a glass of wine or beer since then.
His experience in silence has also made Ingram a staunch advocate for mental health, something he believes Bahamian society should be more cognizant of.
Our society has deteriorated because we haven't addressed mental health. You know, Bahamians are afraid to say that someone in their family has a mental condition. There's a stigma attached to it. Whereas everybody seems to need help from Sandilands or need to seek mental health. And the country needs to speak to that issue on a very, very serious note.
Hey, have you heard? ZNS is everywhere you are when you download the new ZNS app. Whether you're on the move or just kicking back. Miss something on the news? It's there. Want to keep up with a live update? It's there. Or just want to listen to your favorite station? It's there too. Download the app now from the App Store and Google Play Store.
Nature-based tourism supplies almost $50 million in revenue for Androsians every year. These priceless resources will continue to provide renewable benefits for thousands of people for years to come, as long as we take long-term action to preserve what's rightfully ours. The natural environment has played a vital role in our culture and economy for generations. Let's take care of nature, and nature will take care of us.
Natural phenomena occur frequently worldwide. Well on screen is an image of the fascinating colors of nature that can be well observed in cold countries like Russia. It is in these regions rather that the light from the sun and the moon reflects against the ice crystals, producing varied colored light columns.
Moms, we will never be able to thank you enough for always being there for us, protecting us, and teaching us how to maneuver through life. And this Mother's Day, we want to honor you in a very special way. So we are asking for you, the public, to send a video tribute of your mother and mother figure to k.sims@ZNSBahamas.com and watch it air live on the morning edition the week leading up to Mother's Day.
Well, Fisher, we got a special Mother's Day show tomorrow.
It will all be revealed. I was looking, I don't know if you got to see some of those pictures with those mother-daughter looking like you can't even tell some of them apart.
Well, I haven't just yet, but I think today we're going to make
I haven't seen you on your mother picture as yet.
I think you would probably want to see that. We look alike.
I've seen her. I think she's about a tad much more younger looking than you.
Yeah, perhaps. And be sure to stay tuned into the ZNS Network for news as it happens, TV and radio updates throughout the day. Then you can tune into Live at 5 with Amajal Knowles, the Northern Edition with Shashina Rowe-Parkinson, and the Bahamas Tonight at 7 with Makush Lapinder. And that's a wrap for us this morning for the entire team.
Don't forget to get those pictures in today, final day.
Have a good morning, everyone.
When I wake up, my head was already gone. My head